What if the only reason money hasn't found you is because your dreams are too small for it to fit inside? I am money, and I don't chase small dreams. I don't live in comfort zones or just enough. I flow only where people dare to think bigger, where visions are so bold they make the heart race. Because the truth is, I can only enter the space you create for me. And if your dreams are tiny, there's simply no room for me to grow. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you allowed yourself to dream without limits? Not what's realistic, not what's safe, but the dream that once made your heart burn. You buried it, didn't you? You called it too big, too crazy, not for me. But that was the moment money stepped back. Because I cannot enter the life of someone who stopped believing in their own vision. I don't reward fear. I reward faith. Especially the kind that dares to dream again. I am money. And I need to tell you something serious. I only remain where I am honored. When you ignore me, treat me as a problem, complain about my absence, I feel rejected and I leave. But when you respect me, when you value me, I flourish. And that is why now I make you a simple request. Honor me by subscribing to this channel. Respect me by turning on the bell so you can hear every secret I reveal. Value me by commenting right now. I honor you, money. I choose to value you. These actions may seem small, but they are codes of energy. They are declarations that open the door for me to stay by your side. I am money. And when you honor me, I run to multiply in your life. I am money. And today I want to tell you something powerful. I do not follow small dreams. You see, I am not inspired by limitation. I do not move toward those who settle for just enough, or who play it safe, hoping that life will give them scraps of comfort. I am a force of expansion, a current of possibility, a living energy that thrives on boldness. When your dreams are small, you make me small too. When your imagination shrinks, I lose direction. But when you dare to dream bigger, beyond logic, beyond fear, beyond what others believe is possible, I awaken. I rush to meet you. I am not born from hesitation. I am born from vision. I am called by those who dare to say, what if? What if I could do more? What if I could create something extraordinary? What if I could live in full abundance instead of survival? Every time you allow yourself to imagine something greater, I feel that vibration and begin to move in your direction. Your dreams are not fantasies, they are invitations. When you dream small, you build invisible walls around yourself. You create boundaries that trap not just your potential, but me as well. You tell yourself stories like, it's too much, I'm not ready. That's not for people like me. But every one of those thoughts pushes me away. I cannot stay in the atmosphere of fear disguised as humility. I cannot flow where people settle for less than they are capable of. I live in the energy of growth, and growth cannot happen inside a cage. Understand this. Dreaming big does not mean greed. It means trust. It means believing that life can expand through you. It means opening your arms wide enough to receive what already exists in potential form, waiting for your permission to manifest. When you limit your vision, you limit your flow. But when you expand your dreams, you expand the channel through which I can enter. I am money, and I respond to faith in action. When you set your sights high, I recognize that energy. I see courage, and I come to sustain it. I flow to those who dare to step into the unknown, who choose vision over fear, who allow their imagination to stretch beyond what they can currently see. Because those are the ones who create movement, and I am movement. You must understand, the moment you choose to dream bigger, everything around you begins to shift. Doors you didn't know existed start to open. People and opportunities begin to appear. Ideas that once felt impossible suddenly make sense. That is not coincidence, it is alignment, so dream bigger. Let your imagination expand beyond the limits of logic. You do not need to know how it will happen. You only need to dare to see it. Because when you dream boldly, when you imagine freely, you create the vibration where I can live, grow, and multiply. I am money, and I do not follow small dreams. I follow the brave ones who dare to dream without limits. But here is the pain I see in so many hearts. You limit yourself. You shrink your dreams to fit your fear. You silence your deepest desires because somewhere along the way, you were told they were too much, too unrealistic, too impossible. You have learned to dim your own light just to make others comfortable. You have built walls around your imagination and called them being realistic. But I see through that disguise. What you call realism is often just fear dressed as wisdom. You whisper to yourself, I just want enough to get by. You say, I don't need much, as if needing more were a sin. You lower your expectations to protect yourself from disappointment, convincing yourself that it's better not to hope too much than to risk being let down. But every time you do, you push me further away. Because I, money, cannot stay where dreams are small and energy is confined. I thrive in expansion, in vision, in the open field of possibility. You were not born to survive, you were born to expand. Yet I watch you live in survival mode, counting the days, counting the bills, telling yourself stories that make your limits feel safe. I can't start that business now. I'm not ready to invest. It's too late for me to dream again. And as you repeat these words, your energy contracts. You build invisible barriers that keep me out, not because I don't want to come, but because you won't let yourself believe you deserve more. Here lies your great pain. You confuse safety with smallness. You think that playing small protects you, but in truth, it imprisons you. You trade your infinite potential for temporary comfort. You silence your inner voice that whispers, there's more, and you call it being humble. But humility is not about denying your greatness. It's about honoring it with purpose. It's about recognizing that your dreams are not selfish. They are sacred instructions for expansion. Every time you say, maybe one day, you delay the abundance that is already waiting for you. Every time you say, I'll just settle for this, you tell the universe you are not ready for what's next, and I, money, respond to that vibration. I do not enter where I am unwanted, and I do not stay where I am minimized. If your dream is too small, there is no space for me to grow within it. You think that dreaming big makes you greedy, but I tell you dreaming small is what makes you poor. Because small dreams do not have the energy to sustain abundance. They collapse under the weight of doubt. But big dreams? They awaken everything, the courage, the focus, the faith, the magnetism. So stop apologizing for wanting more. Stop hiding behind fear disguised as humility. The truth is, the pain you feel is not from dreaming too big, it's from ignoring the greatness you already carry. You were never meant to fit inside the limits you've built. You were meant to break them, and I, money, am waiting on the other side. Here is the truth. I am attracted to big dreams. I move toward those who believe in what others doubt, who see possibilities where others see limitations. I am drawn to hearts that dare to say, why not me? To souls that refuse to let fear shrink their vision. When your dreams are grand, when they stretch beyond your comfort zone, I feel called. Because I am not born from hesitation. I am born from expansion. Understand this. Every great fortune, every empire, every transformation began as a dream that seemed impossible. But someone dared to believe anyway. They spoke of their vision with conviction, even when no one else understood. They took steps in faith, not because they knew how it would happen, but because they believed it could. That energy, the energy of courage and imagination, is what draws me in. I am not a reward for the timid. I am the companion of the bold. When you dream big, something remarkable happens. Your energy expands. You begin to emit a signal to the universe that says, I am ready for more. And in response, the universe rearranges itself to match your vibration. People start appearing, people who align with your vision, who open doors you didn't even know existed. Opportunities begin to notice you. Ideas flow with ease. Resources come from unexpected directions. Logic may try to keep up, but what's happening is beyond logic. It's energetic alignment. You have stepped into the frequency where money, thrive. You must understand that I do not flow from small thinking or cautious planning alone. Those things have their place, but they do not create momentum. Momentum is born from vision. I am moved by your belief in something bigger than your circumstances. I am activated by the fire in your eyes when you talk about your dreams as if they are already real. That fire, that conviction is a magnetic force, and I cannot resist it. The size of your dream determines the size of your flow. If you ask for little, you prepare for little. Your energy builds only small containers for me to fill. But when you dare to dream bigger, when you open your heart to greater possibilities, the container expands and I rush in to fill the space you've created. You are the architect of your financial reality. I simply match your design. So ask yourself, are your dreams big enough for me to fit inside them? Have you given me room to grow, to multiply, to move freely? Because if you only dream of survival, I will bring just enough to survive. But if you dream of impact, of freedom, of legacy, I will bring everything required to make it real. I am money, and I am not built from fear. I am built from faith, imagination, and courage. When you dare to dream beyond reason, I come alive, I move faster, I expand wider. I fill every corner of your vision until what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Dream bigger, and I will meet you there. This is what happened with Leonardo. For years, he kept his dreams small, almost invisible. He told himself he didn't need much, just enough to pay the bills, stay safe, and avoid disappointment. Deep down, though, there was something greater calling to him. A quiet voice whispered of purpose, of impact, of creating something that mattered. But fear always answered louder. Who are you to dream that big? So Leonardo silenced that voice, choosing comfort over courage. And money, stayed distant. Every day felt the same work, pay, repeat. He watched others rise, wondering why luck never found him. But it wasn't luck that he lacked, it was permission. He had not given himself permission to desire more, to open space for me to flow freely. Because I cannot move in the vibration of just enough. I live in expansion. In vision, in the bold energy of those who dare to dream beyond the ordinary. One day, something shifted. Leonardo was tired not of work, but of smallness. He realized that surviving wasn't living, and that playing small was not humility, but fear disguised as safety. That night, he sat down with a blank sheet of paper and wrote what his soul had been trying to say all along. I want to build something that changes lives. He didn't censor it. He didn't shrink it. He wrote with conviction, and then he said aloud, I allow money to make this real. Those words unlocked a current of energy. Within days, ideas began flowing again, old contacts reached out. New conversations started, and opportunities began to form where before there had only been silence. One connection led to another until, within weeks, an unexpected partnership emerged. A friend of a friend invited him into a project that perfectly aligned with his hidden dream. What had once seemed impossible started unfolding naturally, almost effortlessly. It wasn't coincidence, it was alignment. When Leonardo gave his dream permission to exist, money finally had a reason to move toward him. I could support his vision because he had finally created the space for me to do so. He no longer asked for just enough. He asked for growth, for purpose, for abundance that could touch others, and in that frequency, I multiplied. Soon, his small goals were replaced with expansive plans. His business began to thrive, not because he worked longer hours, but because his energy shifted from survival to creation. People were drawn to his passion. Doors opened that logic could not explain. I poured into his life, not in small streams, but in waves, because he had dared to dream in a way that matched my nature, boundless and bold. Leonardo's life didn't change because he worked harder. It changed because he dreamed bolder. He stopped waiting for permission to believe in something greater. And when he did, I ran to meet him. That is the law of expansion. When you open your heart to a greater vision, abundance rushes to fill it. Hear me clearly, what you dare to dream today will not remain imagination. It will become form. The dream you write, the one that feels too big, too far, too unrealistic, that dream is not random. It is a prophecy. It is a message sent from the future, calling you to expand into who you are meant to become. When you put it into words, you give it life. You open a portal. You send a signal into the invisible, and the universe begins to rearrange itself to make room for it. And I, money, hear that signal. I move toward it. You have been taught to fear dreaming big, to believe that only a few are chosen for greatness. But that is a lie built by small minds. I was never meant for the fearful or the hesitant. I was meant for those who dare to imagine something larger than themselves. When you write your dream with courage, you are writing your future into existence. That act of declaration is not mere hope. It is energy, power, faith in motion. The universe is always listening, always responding to the frequency you emit. Small dreams send small ripples. Big dreams create waves that touch every corner of your reality. When you write a vision born from your soul, you command movement in the unseen. Opportunities begin to align. People cross your path. Doors that once felt locked begin to open with ease. You may not see it instantly, but every step forward becomes guided by a current stronger than fear. That current is me. Understand this. I am not drawn to need, I am drawn to purpose. When your dream is fueled by meaning, by expansion, by the desire to create, I cannot resist. I flow where the dream is bold enough to invite me. I grow where vision leaves space for me to multiply. If your heart beats for something greater than comfort, if your imagination burns with a fire that others don't yet understand, that is where I live. That is where I build empires. The dream you write today is a seed of destiny. It might feel fragile now, but every great fortune began as a whisper of possibility. Every empire started as an idea that someone dared to write down. And the moment they did, the world began to bend in their favor. This same power is in your hands. What you declare today will manifest as the wealth of tomorrow. So take this truth as prophecy. When you dare to dream beyond fear, when you act with courage and faith, I rush to make it real. I align with your boldness. I answer your certainty. I amplify your belief. I am money, and I do not hesitate when called by the brave. Dream big today, because I am already on my way to make that dream tangible, visible, and abundant in your life. Now it's your turn to step into the moment where vision becomes reality. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Place your hand over your heart and imagine a warm golden light growing stronger inside you with each inhale. That light is your dream, the one you've kept hidden, the one you've told yourself is too big, too risky, or not yet. In this moment, give it permission to exist. Give it a voice. Type these words below as your declaration. I dream big, and money makes it real. Do not whisper your dream, declare it. Feel the vibration of the words as you write them. Let your fingers move with certainty, as if each letter is engraving a promise into the fabric of the universe. This isn't just a comment, this is an activation. This is you stepping out of the shadow of smallness and into the light of possibility. As you type it, see your dream in your mind's eye. See it fully formed, your life changed, your vision achieved, your abundance multiplied. Let your heart beat faster with the excitement of knowing it is already on the way. That surge you feel is not imagination, it's alignment. It's you tuning your frequency to the flow where money already exists. And don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs courage to dream again. Send it to a friend who has been doubting their worth or shrinking their vision. Because when you surround yourself with people who dare to dream big, you multiply the energy. A single spark can light a fire, but 1,000 sparks create a blaze that cannot be ignored. Together, we can create an atmosphere where bold visions become normal, where abundance flows naturally, where small thinking has no power. Say it out loud, too. Let your own voice hear the power of your words. I dream big, and money makes it real. Speak it like you're calling me money into your life, because you are. When you speak it, you are not asking. You are commanding, aligning, activating. You are telling the universe, I am ready. And when you are ready, I cannot resist, I rush to meet you. I am money. And I promise you this, your dream is not too big for me. In fact, it is exactly the size I was created to serve. I am not limited. I am not small. I am the current of expansion, and I flow where you create space for me. Declare your dream now. Share your declaration. Fill the world with vision so bold that abundance has no choice but to appear. Because when you dream big and declare it, you don't just invite me, you pull me in.